Welcome back to MSNBC's special coverage of the Republican National Convention. And joining me now is Chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. You know, we like to hear from everyone. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for asking, Ari.
Absolutely. We'll get into plenty of stuff, but I want to give you a straightforward opening off the top. What is your argument for Donald Trump's reelection in the light of this week's convention?
Well, you know, I'm an old man now, Ari. I've been involved in politics a long time. I got a lot of snow on the roof. And if you're talking about yesterday, you're probably losing. And what I advise the president to do and his team is talk about tomorrow. The country's been through one heck of a year. We've never seen anything like an economic shutdown, this pandemic, for at least 100 years. But previous to that, he had a very impressive record of keeping the commitments he had made to the American people. You or others don't have to like all of that policy, but he basically did what he told us he would do. And what he has to do in this convention is two things: tell people what he wants to do in a second term, and the people around him who are speaking need to showcase Donald Trump, the person, the individual, and why it's important for him to be reelected.
You mentioned the people around him, and obviously, I think you would agree, it's not good news for any politician on the week of their convention to have the person who ran the campaign last time get arrested and indicted. And it's not just Steve Bannon. I'm curious your reaction. We can look at all of these individuals. You have Bannon, Manafort, Stone, Flynn, Gates, Cohen. Everyone who was charged has been convicted, and Bannon awaits trial and is legally, of course, presumed innocent until proven guilty. The question is straightforward as you argue for the reelection, which is, why does Donald Trump have so many people around him? Why does he hire and rely on so many people who end up convicted felons?
Why are there so many people who were around Obama and Biden who haven't been locked up? We just saw the greatest legal outrage coming from the White House, rivaling Watergate, perhaps worse. The idea that Obama and Biden and their intelligence community around them, Susan Rice, Jim Comey, Mr. Brennan, used the intelligence community to spy on their political opponents is revolting. And we've already just now had one plea to the fact that there was a FISA application put in that was inaccurate.
You know what I got to ask you?
Yes,
I got to ask you, you just said don't go backwards. Do you think it's last week and we're talking about the Biden convention? Because I booked you to discuss.
Not backwards. That plea just happened, and there's more coming in the future.
I booked you to discuss this convention, and in all seriousness, I think it is worth you saying and our viewers hearing, if you have an answer, why so many convicted felons around Donald Trump?
Well, first, of course, you should give Bill Barr credit, unlike you did in the previous session, where if somebody close or perceived as being close, and I don't think Steve Bannon is any longer close to the president, but somebody who's perceived to be close can have a legal action taken against him by a U.S. Attorney office. It shows you that they're playing things squarely at the Department of Justice. Number two, all of these convictions that you walk through, I don't think it's fair to put Mike Flynn, if he's on your list, because he's just another victim of the Comey-Mueller excess. But these other people were indicted for activities away from President Donald Trump.
So part of your argument, as I'm hearing it, is the fact that these people are getting caught doing something wrong is a testament to your argument is it's the independence of the Barr Justice Department, which, as we've covered, has been criticized. That's what you're saying?
Well, I don't think the Barr Justice Department should be criticized. I think they've done a really good job. I think the department that should be criticized is the department that whitewashed this incredible wrongdoing by Obama and Biden. And Biden is running for president, Ari.
And if
Biden is running for president.
Have a time machine, I'll book you on the DNC. But when we finish that,
let's do it.
Let me ask you this: is Donald Trump
Joe Biden is their nominee, though. You have to acknowledge that any role he played in that illegality is valid.
Matt. I'm not denying that he is the nominee. Let me ask you this, though. When you hear about this law and order and some of the rhetoric out of the convention, is Donald Trump, in your view, is he making a mistake sympathizing so much with these people who, as you said, independent Justice Department, arrested, charged, most of them convicted, Bannon awaiting trial? Is Donald Trump wrong to sympathize so much with him? Does that send the wrong message to the country?
No, I think Donald Trump should sympathize with Americans in all kinds of ways, including those who are the victims of these protests around the country. We can all be mournful of these terrible tragedies that have happened, including with the murder of George Floyd. But why add injury to insult with the victims that have taken literally murders in some of our major cities, these riots, these small business owners, many of them people of color, who are victims of this violence? What I want to hear from Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and quite frankly, Barack Obama and Kamala Harris, is to condemn this violence. They're very quick to condemn police officers, and sometimes that's valid. But we should also condemn all this violence. Somehow the mother that was on TV today of this latest victim who's in the hospital,
Mr. Blake,
spoke to me. I think she spoke to, I think it was Mrs. Johnson. She spoke to a lot of people in this country. She said she has a beautiful, the color of her hand is a beautiful dark color. But no matter what color your hand is, we've got to figure out a way to come together. And that's what the president needs to do. He does need to bring us together. And that's what we expect of our political leaders. But I think the president is empathizing with those who are the victims of these riots and this violence and these crimes.
Matt, people can agree or disagree with what you're saying. They have to hear you to do that. That's why we have time for you on the program. But you're bringing up that shooting for what reason? Because as you know,
I thought you just brought it up. I apologize. I thought you brought it up.
No,
I was just trying to answer your question.
Oh, if that was a genuine miscommunication, I'll count that up. I was referring to the way he has sympathized with defendants like the ones I mentioned, with Michael Cohen and this and that. In fact, for that point,
I don't see that at all.
To clarify, let me play a little bit of that and get your response on the other side, which is
I'd be happy
the way
to answer
Donald
that
Trump,
question. Be happy to answer that question.
You will get to, but you're on the beat, so you're going to have to hear the sound to then answer. Here's Donald Trump. Take a listen.
Well, I feel very badly. It's a very sad thing for Mr. Bannon.
I've seen a very sad thing going on with respect to Roger Stone. I think it's a disgrace.
I feel very badly for Paul Manafort. It's a very sad situation.
I feel badly for General Flynn. I feel very badly.
The question was about all of that, the sympathy for these individuals who are arrested, most of whom I just mentioned were convicted at a time when they were caught breaking the rules. And a lot of Americans, as you know, are playing by the rules. You get the final answer, sir.
Well, he also felt great sympathy for Alice Johnson. He's communed and pardoned so many people, including people of color who were victims of this 1994 crime bill. He believes that there are too many times when the American people are treated unfair in legal system, and that the pardon process and the commutation power is something that he ought to use. He ought to use as he sees fit. And I think that is an appropriate thing. And as far as some of these convictions of some of these people, there's a process. And if they did something wrong, they have to pay the consequences for what they did wrong. And what the president has said in many of those comments and those public comments is basically, I feel bad for the person, but I'm not getting involved. It's up to the Department of Justice. And as you saw with Steve Bannon, I think you can see that Bill Barr is.
Do you think he did something wrong?
You know, when you're reading the New York Times to figure out what happened, it might be a little skewed, but I do think that if what they report is right, I think there are serious issues with how people raise money. I'm in a group. I have to be careful with how I raise money for my group. And if he's innocent, I know that our system will find him so. Okay. And I have confidence in it.
I'm out of time. But I appreciate you spending time with us, Matt.
Thank
Schlapp,
you for your coverage thank you for your coverage of the convention too. I've been watching a lot of it. I think it's great that you're covering it. I'm watching it with my girls, and I think that's good for all Americans and the Democratic one.
All families should watch all civics together. I wish you well tonight. Thank you again, Matt. We have coverage, of course, tonight on Night 2. It's about to begin. Don't miss it. And if you stay up late, we'll be back at 1 a.m. Eastern tonight. Readout with Joy Reid starts now.